September 11th, 2001 was the day America changed forever. But what exactly happened that day? George W. Bush's voice was heard on news stations everywhere saying that thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. At 8:46 a.m., a hijacked airplane strikes the side of the North Tower, leaving all of New York City and the rest of America in disbelief. Just minutes later, at 9:02, a second plane crashed into the South Tower.
It was at this point we knew it wasn't an accident, and we were in fact under attack. Between 8:47 and 10:29 a.m., many people trapped by fire and smoke in the upper floors of both World Trade Center towers jumped to their deaths. But the attacks weren't over, and while everyone was focused on the tragedy of the Twin Towers, another plane, Flight 77, struck into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. No one knew how many attacks there were going to be.
Luckily, Todd Beamer, a man aboard a fourth hijacked airplane, organized a passenger rebellion, saving the Capitol building from another devastating crash. Though everyone on this flight died, and they haven't been able to recover any bodies or debris, Todd Beamer and the other passengers on Flight 93 were all heroes that day. Other heroes that lost their lives include 343 firemen and paramedics, 23 NYPD officers, and 37 Port Authority police officers. This is a video clip of two men who were also heroes on that day.
Near the time when it was apparent that within a few minutes the smoke would be thick enough and we would not survive. One of the fellas yelled, "Hey, there's somebody banging on the door."
Wait, I think I heard something.
And I hear the pounding, pound, pound, bang, bang, bang. Nobody knew that the wall was merely a plasterboard or sheetrock.
Stand back. We're coming through.
I thought it was concrete. It looked like concrete. It was painted like concrete, but I didn't know. Nobody knew.
Hey, anybody hurt?
No, everyone's okay.
All right. Coming through, Mac. All right, everybody, this way.
On this day,
Stairwell C.
these fellas that were gray-collar workers and blue-collar workers had the wherewithal to save everyone else, while the lawyers and the accountants didn't quite know what to do and had no sense of how to act in this situation. And these fellas did.
You all right, sir?
The death tolls for 9/11 are unsettling, deaths totaling at 2,819, leaving 1,609 people without a spouse or partner and 3,051 children without a parent.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility. All that I had was all I gon' get. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. All I gon' get is gon' be yours then. All I gon' get is gon' be yours then. So tell me when you hear my heart stop.
Americans have many questions tonight. Americans are asking, who attacked our country? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. They are some of the murderers indicted for bombing American embassies in Tanzania and Kenya and responsible for bombing the USS Cole. Al-Qaeda is to terror what the mafia is to crime, but its goal is not making money. Its goal is remaking the world and imposing its radical beliefs on people everywhere.
The mastermind behind this devastating day was Osama bin Laden, the leader of the Al-Qaeda terrorist group in Afghanistan. Osama bin Laden is still on the loose. He's still out there, and though we've received threats and messages indicating he is still alive, we've been unable to find him. Despite many common thoughts, the attackers and their leader are Middle Eastern, but none are from Iraq. The 9/11 hijackers were all members of Al-Qaeda. They were not all from Afghanistan, though. Several from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Lebanon, and Egypt. They all received flight training in Florida. It's hard to understand their motives. 2 of the hijacked airplanes flew directly over a nuclear power plant and could have easily crashed into that. So why didn't they?
The World Trade Center represents the wealth of America. The Twin Towers were a reminder that we had reached corporate success. The Pentagon is also a symbol of American power. So by destroying these important symbols in America, the terrorists could intimidate and scare Americans into doing what they wanted. Or so they thought.
Tonight we are a country awakened to danger and called to defend freedom. Our grief has turned to anger, and anger to resolution. Whether we bring our enemies to justice or bring justice to our enemies, justice will be done.
In response to the September 11 attacks, our government launched the War on Terror against Afghanistan and Iraq, which began October 7, 2001. We are sadly still fighting this war, 9 years, 6 months, and 8 days later, in order to remove the Taliban regime from power and create a democracy.
Shortly after September 11th, airport security began changing drastically. Changes include armed pilots, undercover officers on passenger flights, pre-screening passengers, and locked cockpit doors. September 11th has changed our country and shows how strong we are. We, as people, as a nation, and as a world, shall never, ever forget.